Malcom has lost his device that communicates. Getting it back is something the crew will have to facilitate. But ho ho ho, the bad guys have a phase pistol now. Will Malcom and Archer be forced to take their final bow? I'm Josh.
I'm Justin.
And this is From There to Here. Well, today's episode is Season 2, Episode 8. It's called The Communicator. And according to Wikipedia this time, because the IMDb plot synopsis is way too long, here's what the episode is about. Reed and Archer retrieve a communicator. Reed and Archer retrieve a communicator left behind on an alien planet, but are captured in the process. And on the IMDb, it is rated, I'm not sure, let's see what it is. What do we got? A 6.9 out of 10? What is going on?
I think we need to find another site that rates these episodes.
I can't find any. This was the best site that I found that did them back, maybe about 15 years ago, 10, 15 years ago. There was a website that was like an aggregate of user reviews, and it was really nice. But it wasn't just a Star Trek website. It was a sci-fi website. A whole bunch of different sci-fi shows were on there. And it would have a collection of user reviews. It was great. I can't remember the name of it, though.
Because I just have no faith in
I hope somebody
IMDb's
listening can tell me what that
rating
was.
system
This is
This is
6.9 is...
It's not right.
It's not a perfect episode, but...
No.
Yeah, it's
but it's better than that.
Far better than...
Yeah.
What do you have? What do you have for backstory for this?
Well... I hadn't thought about it till I read this, but it said this episode explores a premise hinted at in the original Star Trek episode, A Piece of the Action, when Dr. McCoy jokes about accidentally leaving his communicator behind. So this was kind of like, what if they had to go back and get it, Is
that actually where they got the idea from, or was that just something that was hypothesized about?
It might have...
Like, it's a coincidence?
I don't know.
Maybe. Okay.
I mean, for all we know, the writing staff may have remembered that. And remembered the whole concept of A Piece of the Action, which you could argue this episode is, kind of a sister episode to, a companion episode to, of, this time they go back and get the communicator. But what if they didn't, like how the crew of that ship and Piece of the Action left that stuff behind and it tainted their whole civilization?
Yeah, I suppose I hadn't thought about it like that before. But
yeah.
Okay. I thought it was more of like kind of akin to... like a spy thriller, like a World War II spy thriller.
Well, that's what it sort of became.
Yeah, because the uniforms of the bad guys were very Nazi-esque, World War II-esque. They had 40s, 50s-esque technology. There was like machine guns and things like that. And kind of felt like that to me, like they were American spies in a German camp. But anyway,
yeah,
I got kind of, I was flashing to like, Inglourious Bastards. That's the most recent.
I was thinking that too as we watched it.
Yes.
Yeah, when they walked into that restaurant, for lack of a better word, I literally because they're
all
like
all
Nazis.
that came to my mind was say goodbye to your Nazi balls.
Well, I was imagining the guy putting the card on his forehead.
Right. Yeah.
I was picturing that whole scene going, where's that scene?
Yeah.
Never happened.
Yeah, well, you mentioned when we were watching that scene that, this is like compared to last week when they went to their Mos Eisley bar, which was much more interesting to look at.
Yeah.
Here we get...
This is like
Denny's.
Yeah, this was like any TNG bar they went into. Which
and the whole episode had like this like kind of like haze. It had like a haze about it.
I think they do that because they're obviously the whole thing was shot on set.
They're trying to cover that up.
Yeah, filter that a little bit.
Yeah, their outdoors looked very set-like. Indoors were, of course, very set-like.
Why not just set it at night so at least you can get away with saying it's dark?
Well, they had this problem with, this was back in season 1 where, of course, I can't remember the episode title now, but it was...
yeah, I know the one you mean.
Which one?
Is it the one where, the one that we thought was really not good? Where Archer and that girl, Civilization.
No, not that one.
Oh, all right.
This episode did remind me of Civilization,
yeah,
but not because of the set-like quality.
Oh, okay.
No, I was thinking of they land on a planet, and it's the one with Dean Stockwell.
Oh, Detained.
Detained, yes, it's Detained. A lot of outdoor scenes that were clearly filmed indoors. Yeah. I was like, come on, guys, you're not fooling anybody.
Don't any of these studios have a, like a skylight, something you can open it and let real sun in?
Yeah, it was, quite peculiar. I mean, I get that it's environmentally controlled, but it just doesn't really help you in terms of looking realistic.
I agree.
But okay, well, I liked it overall. Did you like it?
I did like it. I actually,
because out of the gate we're kind of picking on it already.
No. I do have thoughts.
Okay,
but what's interesting, I think, to note for me is that I went into it, even though I knew this episode was not the episode, The Communicator, somehow not The Communicator, the Civilization, which was just very bland.
Yes. In
my brain, that's what this episode felt like in my memory. So I went into it with my expectations very low. Okay. So as the episode started to get moving, I thought, oh, I'm kind of enjoying this. This isn't as bland as what I thought. There are some tropes and cliches that I will address, but on a whole, yeah, I enjoyed the episode. It could have been more than what it was, but yeah, it was not a 6 point something in my opinion.
No. And since we brought up Civilization, it was kind of like, well, what Civilization could have been. I think
yes,
it had the same kind of very similar kind of foundation.
I agree.
But obviously what this had was a more compelling story. And I kind of liked that it was very simply drawn out. They're going on an away mission to scout this pre-warp society, and Malcom just loses his walkie-talkie. That's it.
All he did.
That sets it off. And I was like, well, that's simple enough. I mean, that would probably happen. It's believable.
Sure. Just fell out of his pocket.
Yeah. I do wish they would have made the antagonists a little bit more compelling. They were just a little too
that's my first main nitpick.
Okay, go ahead.
About the story.
Go ahead.
I suppose at this point, straight into the writer's room. Okay. Because I thought the episode had two major issues that held it back from being everything it could have been. One was the nature of the people of this planet.
The nature of them?
That being that they were basically not quite Nazi-like, but similar.
It seemed very World War II-esque.
World War II-esque.
It seemed like it was the Germans versus the Allies. That's what it felt like.
And I think that's exactly what they were drawing from. Yeah. I think visually they weren't quite Nazis. They were a little more American-ish, but they were very militant. And I think that was kind of a cheap way to make them something. And I think... Funny, you and I were just walking through a room.
Yes, where First Contact was playing.
The TNG episode First Contact was playing, which, in my opinion, is light years better of an episode in that they have a pre-space society and what happens when they realize there's someone from another world. And I think that was one of the times that Star Trek as a whole really, really nailed that idea, because these people in First Contact were basically like Earthlings. That they had a political system that seemed familiar to us. They had, unlike when you go to Romulus or Kronos, where they all look the same, everyone's wearing the same military outfit. These people they had different professions and different interests, and it made them an interesting people. And you had people in that culture that were
we're speaking about First Contact.
Yes, but I'm making a point, which is that was a depiction of a society where you had people that were terrified of the idea of aliens, those people that were open arms, and those that were in the middle. And that's what made it compelling.
Well, that's what makes Star Trek work when it's well, when it's working at its best,
right? Which
is an allegory for
Earth. I agree.
Right? So,
I agree.
Yeah. The Malcorians in that First Contact episode are basically, well, what would humans do?
Right. And I think
you would see them react in various different ways.
Yeah. No. Totally. And I think for me, that again, that the first main weakness of this episode is that they should have made these people either just straight up human-like, not do this whole somewhat World War II era attitude, just make it like today, or go completely in another direction. Have them either be all pacifists or all militant or whatever, just something to make it interesting, because I felt the World War II era-ish that they were kind of in
not the most interesting setting.
It wasn't.
No.
And frankly, it's not the first time Star Trek has touched onto that time frame, nor will it be the last. And I feel, hell, we just referenced Detained, where Detained was basically Manzanar.
Well, what they need it was. So what they need to do, basically, what they do in sci-fi is they take what is a real world concept, right?
Yeah.
Like First Contact for humans, they remove that, make humans aliens, right? But then they juice everything up. They magnify everything.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what, the Orville does really well a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Like that Orville episode where they go to that Earth-like planet,
right,
where social media rules everything, right? They took that premise
extreme
and they just juiced it up.
Yeah.
They made it like, what if a world was completely ran by that? And you see how badly things can go out of control.
Yeah.
And, that's what we saw with the Malcorians in First Contact, where we have these kind of extreme behaviors from just these very, very disparate set of individuals all habitating a very small space.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And if I was to address this, if I had control of the writer's room, I would say, based on the episode that I saw, what had a glimmer of something interesting happening, and it didn't, was the was he a general or whatever, the leader of the military faction that finds them and is holding them. Towards the end of the episode, when the military doctor says, I can learn a lot more if I dissect these guys, basically kill them and rip them open. That guy at that point, this general, for lack of a better term, I don't know if he's not a general, but whatever he was, I don't know if the actor was playing it on purpose or if it was just what I read on his face, but he seemed bothered by that. Because I think, and I'd be willing to bet this is what the actor was going for, no matter what side these guys were on, Malcolm and Archer, whether he thought they were actually from this alliance, which is always in sci-fi, that other people are always called the Alliance. It's like a go-to name.
Yes.
But even if they were that, or if they were straight up aliens, which at some point they thought they were, they hadn't actually done anything. They hadn't hurt anyone. So I felt this actor was giving a look like, this isn't okay. What does this say about us? And I saw it on his face that he did not like that these guys were going to be put to death. And what I think would have been very interesting.
I'm having a hard time remembering which guy you're talking about.
I don't know how to explain. We'd have to go back to the episode and I have to show you. But
do you mean the guy that's the first officer in Live Fast and Prosper?
Yes, that guy.
Okay,
that guy.
now
yes.
I know who you're talking about.
For anyone that doesn't know what I mean, that actor also played in the Voyager episode.
Because there's
Live Fast and
kind of
Prosper.
two lead guys.
Yes,
and I wasn't sure which one you were referring to.
No. I'm referring to the boss guy.
He was the boss. I'm sorry.
I killed them. So I think it would have been.
You were reading a lot into that moment, because I guess
it was more than one moment. He played it a couple times and it stuck with me. But
I didn't gather anything from him other than just
if you went back,
suspicion.
I bet you would see it. But what I think would be interesting.
Maybe I was looking down at my notes and I missed it.
So what they usually do, and because it's easy, is they'll have a society like this where the military is like, nope, kill him, open him up. And it's always some scientist that's like, no,
just
don't
like
do it.
Day the Earth Stood Still.
Flip it.
Yeah.
Put them in this exact same situation and have the scientists be going, let's cut these guys up. This is fascinating. And have the government guy go, whoa. What did he do? He's just a guy like me sent on a mission. Talk to him. Flip those roles. Make it interesting. Mm-hmm. So that's the first thing I would have done to make this story and the people they land on different. and interesting. If you're going to go that route,
I wouldn't have used any kind of like
military.
No, that's tired.
I know exactly. But if you're going to do it, flip it on its head.
Why couldn't they just? I guess they were trying to ratchet up the tension, but couldn't they have just? Yeah, couldn't have been like any kind of ordinary like alien suburb or something like that. Did they have to run into the military? Did it have to be that?
Okay, all right, I got you. What if they did this? What if it was because in the course of the episode when they're caught, and they're being questioned, this military shows them a pic, and this happens in the episode. They show them a picture of their shuttle flying in, and they said, "This is an alien ship. You are an alien, or at least we're pretty sure, unless the bad guys have learned how to build a spaceship, and we're not really sure, but we think you're aliens." So, to get outside of this military idea, what if it's a small town like Tremors? Super small town, like removed
That's
from everything.
very small.
Well,
you want to
I'm just saying,
small,
removed from everything.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And the townspeople see a ship come down, and a family finds them first. Let's say they're wounded, right? And take them in. And because at first they don't even know what's going on, but let's say this alien civilization is like,
let's just hope they didn't land in Peabody's farm.
I know, old man Peabody.
Yeah.
You don't know all of this. So a family takes them in just out of, good nature. Like, are you okay? And all that.
Sure.
But then let's say it's a very, very small neighborhood and people are all starting to ask questions. Hey, what happened? Hey, we saw the Joneses pull those guys in. And before you know it, people are knocking at the door and fear starts to set in. And it's all about not a whole town, but a small piece of the town.
Are we not using the communicator anymore at this point?
No, I've jumped ship.
Okay.
And if you're going to look at this concept, try and spin it and make it where it's just this small group of people, some of which are just trying to protect other living beings. Other ones are just scared and don't know what to do. And have it be about that. And no military, just people, normal people. If you're going to do that, or do the military thing, but flip it on its head. That's personally. So that's the first thing I would do is change the nature of the people that they run into one way or the other. And the second thing, and this is more of a try to break the normal mold of this sort of episode, which is a trope, have it all take place either from the perspective of, in this case, Archer and Malcolm, the people that crash on the planet or get stuck on the planet, or all from the perspective of the ship and they have no idea what's going on down there. Like, wouldn't it be interesting to have a whole episode where right at the beginning, Archer and Malcolm, oh no, I lost my communicator. Well, let's go down and get it. Don't get caught, whatever. But then the rest of the episode takes place on Enterprise with them going, what do we do? Where are they? Like the whole thing there. And then all we learn as the audience is what the Enterprise crew is learning. And they realize they're about to be executed or whatever. And what do? Don't let us see anything that's happening on the planet's surface. Let us wonder. Or go the other way and have it be all following them on the planet and don't show the Enterprise. There was that scene in this episode that I kind of liked where Archer basically tells Malcolm, we're going to have to die for this. We have infected these people. And right now, the only solution is for us to, because they're threatening them with execution, is we're going to have to take it because we messed up and we infected these guys. We have to do it. And Malcolm said, well, with all respect, sir, kind of waiting on a rescue. So I'm going to go ahead and wait for that if you're okay. I really dug that. So wouldn't it have been cool to see that whole episode evolve with only seeing Malcolm and Archer and wondering, is Enterprise ever going to show? And have us wonder, where are they? What are they doing? Keep us as in the dark as the people on the planet are. Go one way or the other, just to make it interesting. Shake it up. Add some drama, tension.
Well, with those two options, I think it would be better to go with the following Archer and Reed.
Yes, probably.
So that's fine. If you don't want to show the Enterprise, stick with them. That's fine. We'll never know if the Enterprise is coming.
Yeah.
how they're going to
Just like
rescue
Shuttle
them.
Pod 1, where we thought it would be more interesting not to cut away to Enterprise and always wonder,
Well,
are they
yeah,
going to find
that was
us?
your suggestion, and
Yeah.
you're right. Yeah,
It was
you're
a
right
good
there.
idea then, and it's a good idea now.
Yeah. That's fine. I think we can do that. I'm not entirely set on, well, who are these people that they're finding? It was starting to sound very like Twilight Zone-esque.
I was just going to tell you, because the idea that actually made me think of that is a Twilight Zone episode, if you remember, where it's
Is
a little...
it the Maple Street episode?
I don't know. Tell me if this is it.
I think it had...
It's like on a little cul-de-sac or something. It's a small,
Yeah.
street. And if I'm not mistaken, the bomb sirens go off.
Yeah.
And only one guy on that street
shelter.
built a bomb shelter.
Oh,
Everyone
yeah.
said, you're wasting your money, but he
Right.
did it. And the episode ends with everyone trying to break that
in.
door down. And it was all pointless. And they all revealed what dirty, fearful pigs they were.
Yeah.
And I was thinking of a variation of that episode
Mhm.
where it just takes place in that little street. And it's all about fear. Just like in the episode First Contact. People are just afraid of what Riker represents. They're not
Mhm.
really afraid of him. They're afraid of what he represents. And that's scary. And that's what made it interesting and relatable.
Mhm.
So wouldn't it have been better if this all took place on a little street of normal people just scared that we can relate to,
Mhm.
and have one family decide, no. What did they do to you? Just leave them alone, and all about that.
No, I mean, that sounds more interesting, but I'm not entirely sold.
All right. Fix it.
Well, I like the idea of them. I like the idea of the episode kicking off with, they did leave that communicator behind.
I do like that.
So I'd like to keep that in the story. I don't know about, I know I mentioned the part of a alien suburb, but like, this, it takes place all in one isolated streets, and it's about fear, paranoia. Yeah, I'm not really feeling it. I feel like that's been done before too, especially on the Twilight Zone. It has been.
Was
so.
that Maple Street? Is
No.
that the episode I was
No,
describing?
that's the Maple Street one was where it does take place in like a cul-de-sac, but there's aliens watching them from afar, and these people on the street I think they believe they're being invaded, and the aliens were watching to see what their reaction would be to alien visitors. And when they find out that they went completely insane, they're like, well, we're not going to come visit them. Yeah.
I don't remember that. I'll have to go look for that one.
Yeah.
That's good. Screw that.
Yeah. That was one that the 80s series remade.
Oh, is that right?
It was.
I didn't
think
know that.
Andrew McCarthy was in that episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the remake, not the
Yeah,
original.
yeah.
Yes,
Obviously
he wasn't born
not.
yet. Yeah.
I don't think he was born yet.
No, he wasn't. I'm not too sure, because now I've put so much thought into the First Contact episode of TNG and then Twilight Zone episode. I'm like, well, I don't know where to start now, because those episodes were so good. I can't copy them. So
I've always wanted to make love to an alien. Well, there's different ways that our people make love. I can't wait to find out.
maybe we can put it on a street. That's fine. But can we keep the communicator though, at least?
What if the episode literally What if the episode opened with a couple kids coming home? Hey, it's getting late. You know the rules. Come in when the sun goes down. And then they look, mind you, very small town to where their backyard is like the desert. And they look out and they see two people with flashlights. They're like, what's going on? They go over there, find out they're aliens. And it's Archer and Reed. And they're looking for the communicator. We don't see that happen. It's kind of like the beginning of this episode where they're coming back from the mission. But now we catch them already looking for that communicator. Or you could start with them in the dark fishing around, then cut to the street.
In literary terms, that's called in media res, meaning in the middle of. Yes.
Very nice. But it could just start like that, where they're looking for what they lost.
Sure. No, I like that.
And that could be part of the mystery for the people of the block.
Like maybe the kids see them like in shadow, like they silhouette. They can't make out what they are. Maybe they see that they are alien looking.
Yeah.
It's like, maybe it's like signs, you know, when remember the movie where they see like that footage of the alien walking in the
by.
alleyway, and Joaquin Phoenix freaks out.
Whoa! Oh my god! Yeah. Why not?
Something like that.
Why not? Hell, man,
sure.
they could even do kind of an homage to a scene like that, where, oh my god, dude, you found it. What if that was it? What if the episode started with news reports, but they're aliens going? The visitors, we saw their ship. We don't know where it landed, but we're pretty sure they're in this small town. And you see a couple different families, alien families, glued to their versions of a TV.
Yeah.
And you see the shot of a city street like that, and Malcolm or Archer walk by, and everyone go, "Oh my god, the freakish aliens! What are they here to do?"
No, I like that.
And have it be just utter paranoia because they don't. On all we find out, because we'll see Archer and Reed talking. They're just looking for the communicator they lost. But to the aliens, they're walking around our town. What are they here to do?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be wonderful to see that from the other side?
Oh, yeah. I like that.
That'd be awesome.
Can we have... I still want the communicator to be...
the reason why
what they're
there.
looking for.
Yeah.
Could we have maybe like a kid starts talking on it? Like he finds it and figures out
they
how
could
to
go,
use it.
One of those families' kids could go, I saw them looking over here. And maybe the kids go looking.
Yeah.
Make it interesting. Make it be about the kids. Have the kids go looking in the dirt and they find it.
Mm-hmm.
And they just open it up. Shoop, shoop, shoop. Captain, is that you? Hello? What is a captain? And go from there,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Wouldn't that be interesting?
Maybe instead of involving like the military, maybe it could be like their local law enforcement agency or something like that gets involved.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that better.
That'd be fun.
Would we still stay on the planet this time? No, we wouldn't stay. We wouldn't go back to Enterprise.
No, don't go to Enterprise at all. Nope.
No A and B story. It's just always...
I would only have there be a moment in the episode that mirrors the one that was in the existing episode where Archer says, if T'Pol is doing her job, we're not going to be rescued because we've already contaminated these people and she will not let us do it more.
Mm-hmm.
And so they've resigned themselves to the fact that they're stuck, and that there's very little chance they're going to be rescued without being seen, which T'Pol will not allow.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be a genuine surprise to them at the end when something happens and they're able to be saved. You could even, okay. What if the whole episode, once they get found by the townspeople, no one is out of their sight. They always have their eyes on Malcolm and Archer. So when the episode, the viewers never leave the basically the sight of Archer and Reed because they're always in the presence of these aliens, and they're saying they may be able to whisper in a corner going, T'Pol won't save us because that we're here. They'll see us. So it wouldn't be until at the very end of the episode when you're questioning what's going to happen next, they somehow get put into a room somewhere where it's just them. No one else can see them, and cuts to the outside of the room where the aliens are arguing. No, we're going to do this with them. No, we're going to do that with them. I've decided. Open that door, go get them and bring them out. They open the door and they're gone. And then it cuts to, now we go to the Enterprise and they've just been beamed up. And T'Pol saying, or Archer says, wow, you certainly waited till the last minute there. And she could say, we've had a lock on you this whole time, but we couldn't bring you up until you were alone. And they finally locked you up to where, so now you show that, go, they're safe. That's what she was waiting for. So now we have all that answered in just a couple lines of dialogue. The last bit of the episode would be cutting back to those aliens going, where did they go? I don't know. They're gone now. What do we do? And just have it be another mystery that some townspeople will tell that no one else is going to believe. We had aliens in our houses all night, and then they disappeared in the room one day. Yeah, sure you did. You could even end it with someone saying that the next day. We had aliens in our house. Whatever. Where'd they go? I don't know. They just disappeared. And it would be, this is how it goes. This is how stories like that happen.
The way you're shaping this story is it's Is it treating the people on the planet as the main characters?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yes.
So it's all from their POV.
Yes.
Okay.
Which I think would be truly interesting.
It begins with them and it ends with them.
Yes.
Okay. No, I like that. I don't think the writers Paramount would ever go for that.
No.
But I like it.
I think they would, because they did Carbon Creek, which was very much all about those other people. And this little bit of influence that those Vulcans had when they landed, and no one knew they were Vulcans. This would just be where they know they're aliens.
And Carbon Creek is a very popular episode.
It's a great episode because those people were real people. That's what makes it so good. They were relatable, which is why I think this whole spin where it's all from their perspective, and they're not evil monster people. They're just people.
Well, there's a lot about Carbon Creek that I think that makes it as popular as it is. I think it's
there's a lot of elements, but one of those elements is that the boy, the mom, and all that, they're all real people.
Yes, it's a kind of an underdog story. It's an immigrant story.
Sure.
It's a lot of different kind of stories.
Yeah. I have to get going. I have to be back at 8. I Love Lucy is on.
This isn't just watching TV. It is research.
Right. That guy steals it. He's so good.
He was great. Yeah, I know. I did say very pleasant. I don't think this episode would have that kind of wholesome quality.
No, it wouldn't be about that.
No,
it'd be a different
wouldn't.
tone, but a similar. The point being is that Star Trek has gone that way before, and it has had success being about not the crew and being about the people the crew has met. It has happened. And when done right, it can be very interesting. Look at Thine Own Self from TNG. Data doesn't know who he is. He ends up in this.
Well, he's an Iceman.
Obviously. But it's all about them trying to figure it out.
Yes.
And some people are protective of it.
And you never see the Enterprise crew.
Never see, exactly.
Until the very end.
That's
right. That's good.
And there's some people that embrace him, other people that are scared.
Okay.
You know, the fat guy that got horny from Overboard.
That's a good way to characterize
He's the guy that stabs Data through the back.
Bad boy Billy Barker.
Pratt. Billy Pratt.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
The guy that gets horny and Overboard.
I got horny.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, there's probably one person. Well, we only have one person listening anyway, but that actually would get
two
that.
People.
Two people that would get that reference. But there's another example of an episode that was very popular. I think it was a great episode.
Thine Own Self.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
And takes that exact route. I didn't even realize when I was making my description that it's pretty much exactly like that.
More or less.
Only it's Data.
Except Data didn't know who he was.
And Data had, and because he's an android, he could still have certain advanced skills and all that stuff, sure.
Yeah.
But Star Trek has gone that route, and it was very interesting. So, absolutely. Deep Space Nine did a whole episode about a hologram and a little Ferengi.
That's true. And it's a very good episode.
And it's arguably one of the best episodes they produced.
Yeah, if they could, if Archer and Reed could, like Data, blend into this.
Yeah.
Not blend in, but you know what I mean. They'd have to make their way into this community, get people to trust them. But it would have to all be in an effort to kind of get that communicator back.
Yeah, sure.
That would be their main motive. And they could befriend children. They could befriend adults just like Data did.
Yeah,
I think so.
But I like the paranoia aspect where some people are willing to see them as just people, and other people are just scared, not bad guys, just scared.
Well, I think it could be like Thine Own Self was kind of like, its underlying kind of theme, if you want to take it out of its sci-fi setting, is the generosity that people can have towards strangers.
Yeah.
And wanting to help people. Yeah, they don't even know. And then, of course, you have people like Bad Boy Billy Pratt that didn't really want to. It was kind of...
Get out of here, Iceman!
Yeah. Like that. And, that's not a bad place to go. I mean, that's a pretty common fear, and
sure,
that kind of dichotomy of human nature, or duality of human nature, I think is that's interesting. Sure.
That's it.
Yeah, well, I was trying to think of like, well, because last week we forgot to go through do we have any alternate titles for the episode? And I was trying to think of like, is there an alternate title we could give this episode?
The Communicator.
If we're not calling it the Communicator anymore. We kind of, if we go with this kind of jury-rigged different
New
plot.
episode.
Yeah.
What
Thine
would we call it?
own Communicator.
No, man, I would want it to be like a
Bad Boy Billy Brad.
No. I'd want it to be a spin on a 50s title, because this has like a very 50s
like
feel,
like Red Scare.
Yeah, sure, something like that, or there were the Twilight Zone you mentioned, Maple Street. Call it Sugar Bob Street.
Street.
Whatever this alien street is, it's just a street somewhere.
They fell from the sky.
It's very pretentious.
Well, bite me then.
Well, there's that Star Trek book, which was turned into an audiobook, Strangers from the Sky. That would have been a good title.
Mm-hmm.
But just call it
Strangers. Just Strangers.
Strangers. Sure. Keep it simple. But keep it in that like 50s paranoia type feel.
Phone home. Okay, now I'm going too far.
Josh, that would be ridiculous.
No one's ever used that phrase for anything.
That's silly.
Did you just think of that just now?
Is that yours?
Well, since we just kind of went through the writer's room, if we want to go back to how the episode really is for a moment, how do you think it plays out as is, with, the beginning, middle, and end? Do you really feel like it worked despite its flaws?
Yeah, I mean, it did. It did.
I didn't feel bored. I enjoyed.
No.
I enjoyed it going back and forth between the planet and Enterprise.
Yeah.
I thought DePaul did a great job. I thought this gave Blaylock really a time to really start asserting her authority. The crew accepts her. She's been accepted as like,
right.
I'm in charge when
they're
I'm
not
not
questioning
here.
her motives.
No
point.
petulant Trip Tucker.
Yeah.
He's not like
Come on, don't you care about our captain? You don't care.
I love it when you do your Trip imitation. Sounds nothing like him.
I'm known for my accents.
Yes. I mean, Trip had some funny moments. It was nice to see them bring out the cell ship, which was a callback to previous episodes.
I actually had completely forgotten that came up in this at all.
Even though we just watched the episode. Yeah.
I didn't remember that they had held on to it. It just was gone from my mind. But that was a funny little bit where he got hit with the radiation and his arm is invisible and all that.
He got next phased.
Yeah. Although they didn't play with that nearly as much as you would have wanted.
No, I thought it was going to come back.
Like you should have had, when they come to the rescue at the end, have no hand, just a gun sticking out, pointing at people, and we know it's Trip with his invisible hand.
He did, but you didn't see his invisible hand.
That's my point.
He had his glove on.
Yeah, so why bother?
I thought that was going to come back at the end, like they were going to need somebody that was partially invisible for something. And I was
what would have been more interesting is if, since they realized they could cloak him, just go, well,
why don't we just cloak the whole,
radiate his whole body?
Let's just cloak all of him
and let him walk in there and unlock the doors.
Yeah.
And wouldn't that have been a fun ending? To have Archer and all them go, well, we're screwed.
We just went back into the writer's room. So if we kept the episode that way, yes, I think they should just make him all cloaked and then just have him walk in there.
and have Archer and Reed sitting there.
But he has to be naked, of course.
Well, naturally. And have
they love getting him nude.
And have them look up
or
curiously
sorry.
as the outer door to the jail opens up. And they're like, what is that?
Yeah.
And then they hear footsteps, and then the guard right in front of them gets like, fake hit, falls to the ground, and they're like, what on earth is going on? And then you hear Trip going, Captain, I'm here to save you. They say,
come on, Captain.
Trip, are you here? And he, touches their shoulder or something, and they're like, what on earth is going on? Just follow me. You are wearing clothes, right? Yes, I swear, Captain, I am. And have him sneak them out.
Yeah.
That would have been interesting and fun. It was a fun little shootout they had and all that.
Yeah.
But it would have been interesting and different. We've never seen that.
Yeah.
It's
definitely something they could have worked with. Maybe if they had, they were, the whole thing came about with Trip becoming partially cloaked was when they were trying to get the cell ship to work. Yeah. Maybe they couldn't get it to work.
Yeah, exactly.
And they just said, well, what if we just
did that
cloak
again?
The rest of your body? I was like, let's just do that. And, Trip would say, well, to get our crew back, You gonna be able to get me back, Doctor? No, I'm not sure. Well, I'll take the
Well,
risk.
what's interesting is what could have been just a fun thing is, yes, have him get hit, but it does not cloak his clothes. It only cloaks biomatter. So he does have to strip naked.
Oh, okay.
And so we know that when he walks into that jail cell, we know he's butt naked. We'll never see him.
Yeah.
And as, he opens up the lock and they come out after him and he's like, follow me, Captain. And they're leading out and a guard comes. So they have to stop. So you see Archer and Reed kind of mash up against each other. Yeah. And then you see Archer, like he got hit from the front.
Okay.
Or have it be Reed because it needs to be Reed. And Reed go, Commander, are you wearing any clothes? Shut up, Malcolm. Follow me. Just go.
We're turning it into a farce. Like, what if this is how I figured the episode
Wouldn't that have been hilarious?
Well, yes, it would be. But this is how I figured the episode would end.
Yeah.
Okay. In our revised version here. Because, like, in the original here, the Doctor said his arm would slowly come back. And by the end of the episode, it does. And we kind of do get that, where it's like you still see a hole in his hand.
Right.
Like, what if they did cloak his whole body, but the end of the episode ends when they're all on the bridge, but the only thing that's, like, uncloaked is his head. That's all you see, his head just bobbling around. I was like, yeah, that's funny.
That would have been amusing.
He's like, yep, it's gonna be a couple more days. Yep. Everyone gets in there, wisecracks on him. I thought that would be funny.
That would have been funny. Yeah.
Well, I think that's all I had to say about the episode.
And then you could have it be where, the plan was that he had to get them to a certain point where they would beam up anyone in that spot, because he's naked. He can't carry anything. He just goes, Captain, we got to be here in 10 minutes. They're going to beam up anything in this square. And so they get there and they beam them all up. And when it cuts to the transporter pad on the Enterprise, let's say it's, pick someone, T'Pol operating the thing. And she could go, or no, it would need to be, who's the pilot? Mayweather go, T'Pol, I've got them. Well, I think I do. Are you here, Tucker? Yeah, I'm here. Okay, they're all here. Like he beams them up. He can't tell. Did he get them?
Right.
Yeah. That'd be just funny.
Yeah, that would be. They could have.
That would have been fun.
Some missed opportunities on.
Boy, they really did.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good episode, but there was a lot of things that could have been different.
Good. Yeah.
That would have been fun. I still like the 50s paranoia idea.
Yeah.
But I also think that would have been a fun ending to the episode as it exists, and just an alteration of the finale.
Yeah, I agree. You want to move into ratings?
Sure.
You want to go first or you want me to go?
You always go first.
Well, then go ahead.
All right, fine. I'll go.
I don't think I've always gone first, but.
Always. All right. I'm going to give this one B+.
That's fair. I was
maybe a B.
Okay, I was leaning towards B+B. I think I'll go for B.
Okay.
Because it does have some flaws.
Yeah, I'll go there. Just the flaws are in its been there, done there.
Yes.
Stuff. It's nothing that's wrong. But
yeah, well, the antagonists were a bit lacking.
Yeah,
the whole
generic.
Like we're at war with clearly
the
in
Alliance.
World War II look-alike place. Like it's like, okay, I've seen that before.
Yeah.
That's not interesting. And they're also, like you said, very militant. I was like, there's no sympathizers whatsoever. No. I was like, okay, come on. No nice people on this planet at all.
No, a solid B. That's not really bad. It's just
B's good. B's good.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's above average. B is good.
It's not 6 point something.
6.9.
Lame.
Yeah. I figured at least this was going to be over a 7. Because I was thinking while we were watching this, I've really missed... as glad as I am to be out of the first season, I've really missed the first season because there were so many opportunities to point out some of the ironic awards that we could give the episodes and to rework them more, because there was the show is still kind of ironing out its flaws at that point. But season 2 has been pretty strong so far.
It's been pretty solid.
I mean, what was it, that episode on was it 2 episodes ago? On the planet where they were being hassled by Klingons.
Oh yeah.
That episode Marauders was kind of like a little weak sauce. But
it was. But this one I thought to myself as it started, which all takes place, in the teaser pre-credits. They realized they lost the communicator. Whoop. got to go back and get it. If this were the TNG era, they could very easily lock onto it, beam it up, no problem.
Yeah.
But this is a pre-Kirk problem that you got to put feet on the ground and figure it out. And I was like, yes, as the episode started, I thought, yeah, cool. This is the kind of stuff this crew should have to deal with, low-tech problems.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, finally, another episode that explores more of what this show really should have been about. Moments like this.
Yes, I agree.
Which really should have been its bread and butter.
Yes, it should have been.
It's really a shame, just like with Voyager, that they didn't explore their own concept to its fullest.
Because there are moments of like real insight there where you could see where they were trying to do.
Sure.
And something in this episode reminded me of that. Like, as you said, pre-Kirk era. Yeah. And, like the sell of the show was to what's his name? Scott Bakula.
Yeah.
Was that, they're going to wear hats, and they wear jeans. It's not like
ball caps and jeans.
Yeah. It's not like the Star Trek you're thinking of. And we're going to kind of connect it to modern time in a way that they never had before. And, I kind of saw that with, when they got in the beginning of the episode, when they got back from their away mission, and they go into decon, they didn't strip down this time.
Thank God.
They or lube each other up, but they're in decon and they open up the little window, hatch, whatever you want to call it, to where Phlox can see them. And he's like, oh, well, you guys are all clean. You can come out. And I was like, they got this from the moon landings. When the astronauts came back, they'd be in decon and they'd be in their little closed off area and they literally would have people come and visit them at a window like that.
Right.
I was like, that's got to be where it came from.
The same technology they used when they faked the Apollo moon landings.
Right. If you look, go up on YouTube, you can find footage of that, where they're doing just that. The president will come and visit them, talk to them at the window.
There's an episode I'm really looking forward that takes largely place in that decon room. I'm looking forward to that one.
Oh, really?
And they use that window a lot.
Okay, I guess I don't remember that.
It's where Hoshi and Trip get an infection and they can't be taken out because Phlox says that they'll infect the crew and they're dying.
Oh.
And they're stuck in there. I thought, oh man, that was a good episode.
Okay. Well, don't tell me.
I remember.
Don't tell me anymore.
I don't know where it is. If it's in this season, third, fourth, I really don't remember.
Okay. Well, do you want to do awards or trivia first?
Awards should always be last. I don't have any trivia.
Of course you don't.
Sorry. I was busy trying to solve a problem for you, if you recall.
Oh, then, yeah. Okay, yes, that's true. Okay, so I have a few questions I could ask you.
Give me.
Okay. Okay, this is the hardest one. I'll give it to you outright because I don't think you're going to get this. Okay, so the Nazi-esque people mention a chancellor that is their supreme leader.
Gowron.
What was his name?
Gorkin.
No.
Gowron.
No. It was Caltere.
I would never have gotten that.
I know. That's why I put it down. I think they only mentioned it once or maybe twice. Okay. This one might be a little easier.
Sorry.
Which shuttle pod did they return in at the beginning of the episode? You got a 50-50 chance here.
2.
No.
1.
It was shuttle pod 1.
Damn.
Okay. When Malcolm and Archer are going back to the planet to get the communicator, in the shuttle pod, Malcolm says, tries to apologize, and then Archer responds, well, how shall we punish you?
Flog you.
There's two
Something
options.
Or flog you.
2 options. Flogging was one of them. What was the other one?
Lock you in the brig for 100 years or something like that.
Close. 30 years.
30 years.
Yeah. Those are all the trivia questions I have.
Okay.
Do you have any awards?
No.
None?
Not that I could think of.
Do you have any lines that you'd like to call out, bad or good?
Honestly, just the one that I referenced earlier in the episode, which is, frankly, so I'm really counting on a rescue. I'm looking at that door, just waiting for someone to come in.
Well,
I like that.
That comes up in my awards, not for the reason that you're pointing out, and I'll tell you why. Okay. So I would like to award the Shatner Award for Best Dramatic Performance to Malcolm for Actually, he gets my other award too. He's a double winner.
All right.
Yes. To Malcolm for frantically checking around on the Enterprise, looking under tables and under floor mats and stuff for the lost communicator, like he's looking for his car keys. Got to be in here somewhere. Did they fall through the cushions of the couch? I was like, come on.
It was here the whole time. Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Yes. I thought that was great. Good job. He also gets the No Grumba Award for cowardice.
Really?
Yes, he does. And this is for the reason, like I just said, that you highlighted while they are in the alien's brig.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm waiting to be rescued. I thought that was actually quite bad, quite out of character for how they had set him up earlier.
Oh, really?
Yeah. While they were in that shuttlecraft going down and, he was apologizing to Archer, he seemed kind of settled into his fate that he had made a mistake. And I felt that...
I don't think he was willing to die for it.
So far, I've gotten the notion that Malcolm is very committed to his role as an officer.
Uh-huh.
And that requires sometimes dying. And I think he would accept his fate. I realized they were doing it for dramatic purposes.
Right.
I get it. But I don't think he would be doing that. I think that was just wildly off.
I liked it.
I can see that, but what can I say? You were wrong. He gets the No Grumba Award for cowardice. He should not have been whining about that. He should have accepted it and dealt with it like a man. I do have some...
What's it say? Wussy.
I do have some lines.
Okay.
Well, I thought the best moment, actually, this isn't exactly a line. The best moment was, or at least the funniest, was with between Trip and Phlox. When Trip was, the Phlox was examining Trip's cloaked arm.
Right.
And Trip was like, well, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to work like this? And then Phlox comes up with the very low-tech answer of, well, just wear this glove. There you go, problem solved. I was like, yeah, that's it. I thought that was pretty funny. I think the worst line was their ba-dum-bum line at the end where they are coming back from the rescue in the cell ship.
Right.
And then
yeah.
They had grabbed all of the communicators,
all
the
guys
phase
took.
pistols. Archer had grabbed them and he puts them in his jacket. And then they're in the cell ship going back to Enterprise. And Archer then starts frantically searching for his stuff, for the stuff. And then Malcolm is like, looking for this, Captain? Mm-hmm. Yeah, very good. Okay, that was pretty lame. But it did make me laugh, but not in the reasons they were hoping for.
I kind of enjoyed that.
You did?
Yeah, that little...
A little too cutesy.
Looking for this?
A little too cutesy. I thought the best line came from T'Pol at the end of the episode, where I thought it was a good scene between Archer and T'Pol, where, Archer was owning up to the mistakes he had made.
Mm-hmm.
And I think his line was to her, he had said something along the lines of like, well, we did get the communicator back, but I think we fixed it. He's like, when? And T'Pol's response was, well, you don't need to leave tech behind to contaminate a culture.
Yeah, no, that was good.
And I was like, yeah, they did screw up that culture. And he's like, we convinced them that like this alliance
they think the bad guys have cloaked
ships and have people that can be genetically enhanced. We did screw up big time
because now they're going to try and do that themselves.
Yeah, they altered history for these people.
Yeah,
the course of their civilization.
Which was that actually? There's what was it? Best Destiny. It was a Star Trek book.
Yeah, I remember that.
And what happens, because it all follows the story of Kirk's dad, right? When Kirk was a young boy. And the Enterprise was under the command of Robert April. And Robert April worked with Kirk's dad. And towards the end, they get into a skirmish with Romulans. And Kirk's dad comes up with the idea of faking a transmission to Earth, knowing that the Romulans will intercept it. And in that transmission, much like Kirk in the Corbomite maneuver, does his fake thing. If you shoot at us, you will activate the Corbomite, which will blow everything up, No, he says that to the bad guys. There's another episode where he fakes a thing, knowing that they'll read it and hopefully they'll back off. But Kirk's dad says, we're going to use our invisibility screens and they're not going to know and we're going to attack them and kill them all. If you don't hear from us, maybe we went down in the fight, but we're going to kill all the bad guys. And they're able to skedaddle and get out of there. And that bit ends with Robert April saying, hey, man, good job. And he said, yeah, but now we've made the Romulans think that we have cloaking technology. Now they're going to develop it. I wonder how long until that becomes a problem. And that was a wink, wink, because Kirk will deal with that. And I thought, oh, man, what a cool way to call back and kind of create the problem that exists in TOS. You know, they were driven to it by a lie. Just like this society now will face a similar problem.
Right.
It was interesting. Yeah. Anywho.
Well, we did hear, we heard from Marissa again.
Yes.
Yeah. So she wrote in, hey guys, I've got some trivia for you for Singularity.
Vanishing.
Vanishing.
That's not till like season 3, right?
Oh gosh, is it?
Singularity?
Vanishing Point and Precious Cargo. I'm not sure.
I think those are season 2.
Okay, well, good. So that's coming up soon then.
Yeah.
I also have a good bonus TOS trivia question. I'll send the answers after I've listened to the episodes.
Okay.
I'll be sure to get some more for the next episodes.
So we have to wait until those episodes to read that trivia?
Yes.
Is that what we're promising to do?
Yes. So at the bottom of the email, Marissa attached the questions, which I did not read. So, I mean, I glanced over it, but I didn't read because I didn't want to prime myself and look for the answers while we're watching it. So we'll save that for right after the episode.
All right.
Okay. So as far as how I found your show, because we did ask.
What about the TOS episode 1?
I think that she sent that in a separate email.
Oh, okay.
Yes. As far as how I found your show, because we did ask how people might be finding it. She said, I was searching Enterprise podcasts and yours came up. So like I kind of hypothesized, it was just a Google search probably. I tried a few different ones, but stuck with yours because you guys are just Star Trek fans that want to share it with everyone. And I love it. So that's cool.
I thought that was very nice.
That was very nice. That was nice to say. I always forgot that not everyone has a full bar set up in their house. Yes, that's in response to the response we gave. It was like a few weeks back now, I think, where she sent us a recipe for a drink that was a little too complicated for us to make. So that's what she's responding to. So I'll send you some easier recipes that you don't need all the bar tools to make them. So, and then comes the... also she writes at the bottom after the trivia questions, she writes, also for Precious Cargo, Trip is again caught in his underwear. I was like, oh yeah, she's right. But she did also respond to something else in a separate email. Was it 2 weeks ago, we brought up an episode from Voyager about the doctor. He couldn't remember something and he was having like a breakdown. She writes, Latent Image is the episode of the Voyager you were trying to remember, but the Doctor's memories were erased. It's season 5, I believe. I think she's right. Yeah, Latent Image, very good. I like it a lot. I have no idea what's coming up next. Have you looked it up?
I will right now. Un momento. And Singularity.
Oh, so it is. Okay. All right. So we get to read those trivia questions next week.
She nailed them in order. It's Singularity, Vanishing Point, then Precious Cargo.
Oh, well, great. Okay. So
I think she was looking ahead better than we were.
Yes. Yeah, that's great.
Yes. Thank you, Marissa.
All right. Yeah. I look forward to reading those. Yeah. Hopefully they'll
be... If memory serves,
yes,
Precious Cargo has a reputation.
I remember that one, and I
remember it too, but it's because of the guest actress who was not a good actress. She was I
remember her being quite striking, though.
She was very attractive,
yes, but
not a good actress. She was like a cooking person.
Oh, I know it's a Taming of the Shrew story.
Yeah.
So
I remember that's why it gets blasted, because she was not a good actress.
Yeah, well.
She was all right.
Says you. I don't know.
I'm just saying that's what the world said.
Yes.
You know.
Well, I mean, I like a night sick bay, so who knows?
So do I.
Yeah, well, I know. So it's Singularity next.
Singularity.
And I think I do remember which one that is.
Yeah.
No, that's Vanishing Point. What's
Singularity is where they all get...
Okay.
obsessed with things.
Yes. I remember. Yes.
Archer's
okay.
trying to write a speech.
Yeah.
Tripp's trying to fix the captain's chair.
Yeah, right.
And it's like only a squeak that he ends up fixing. He's like, that's all I did. Fixed it.
No, he raises it like 2 centimeters.
Yeah, something. But he like dismantles it. He's like, I'm going to get this right.
Yeah.
I forget what's on with DePaul, but everyone's got a mission.
Everyone's got something.
And they're singularly focused on it.
Yes. I remember liking that one, but we'll see how it holds up next week. So if you'd like to write to us, the email is podcastnx01@gmail.com. We encourage that. We love hearing from you. We love reading your emails.
Keep it up, Marissa.
Keep it up. Yeah. Also, if you'd like to rate us on Apple Podcasts, that certainly helps us out. All you have to do is click that star button, or you can be really kind and leave us a review. Mm-hmm. That helps us even more. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
No.
All right. Well, see you next week.
See ya.